Going to be a gentleman who we all know. But before I announce his name, well, let me announce his name right now. Murray Kalish. I want to do something a little different. I want every elected official, past and present, who is here today to line up in front of the podium, each and every one of you who has helped, Murray has helped get elected. His time and effort with each and every one, because I can tell you that 22 years ago, I had to go and see a gentleman who said to me, "Bert, I would like you to run and I will be behind you." And if it wasn't for Murray Kalish asking me to run and standing behind me, I would not have been your county commissioner for 20 years. So I'd like all the elected officials, plus Michelle McGovern, to come up here representing Senator Nelson, Wendy Lipsick representing Ted Deutsch and Robert Wexler, and I'd like all of you to come up here, that all that Murray has held, please come up and stand here in front of the podium. I can tell you right now, that if people like Lawton Childs were in this room today, he would be standing up here next to Murray Kalish as well. There are many that are not here today that Murray helped put in office. And all I pray for is that the Democratic Party keeps some people like Murray Kalish around to help us win the elections that we have to win all over the state, all over the county, and all over the United States.
The Lord above looked down and said, "Murray, you have to get this award, so we'll keep you on for a year or two." I'm 95, I'm going to be 96. I want you to know that for the last 30, 35 years, people like Bert Aronson have invigorated me not to just work for myself and for a few people in the community, but to work for everybody. Work, what I do, and maybe I'm not the only one. I live in a residence. Most of the people in the residence are Democrats, but there are some Republicans. And you know that in the last 6 months, I've gotten quite a few of them to hate Scott. What I'm trying to say is this, that we have to just work. I don't look for anything, because if it's plaques or medallions or anything else, I've got them in my house there. But when you have friends like Bert Aronson is a man who invigorated me a number of years ago. And he said, "Murray, I want you to stay." I had a disagreement with someone and I left the club. "I want you to stay and work." I said, "Bert, I want you to come and work with me and work." We've worked and worked and worked until we have, at the United South County Democratic Club, over 1,000 members. It's a lot of members, but we work and we put our hearts in it. Don't do it just for the glory. Do it for your heart. Because your heart, if you do it for your heart, you're going to be around a lot longer. And I want to thank all of you for this plaque. The only thing I'm sorry is my wife Rosalind passed on a few years ago, but she would say, so what, Murray? It's not the flag, it's not the thing, it's the thing that's deep in your heart that you're doing for the people of Palm Beach County.
This year we have established a new category. It's called the Turning Florida Blue Award. And we have co-winners. Both of these Democrats epitomize how we can elect Democrats and how we can turn Florida blue, one candidate at a time. If you have good candidates, if you work hard, if you run a coordinated campaign between the campaign and the party, if you do solid precinct work, if you emphasize vote by mail, and if you work on getting out every single vote on GOTV, we elect Democrats. And there are two people here tonight who reflect winning Florida and turning Florida blue on the local level. They demonstrate what we can do when we work together and when we work hard. And I'd like to call up Commissioner Ali Biggs of Pahokee and Commissioner Joe Casello of Boynton Beach. Ali Biggs of Pahokee was re-elected as commissioner by 12 votes in March. And Joe Casello of Boynton Beach was elected by 3 votes in March. They're turning Florida blue.
Good evening. I'm just so honored to be here tonight and just to say thank you all. All I can tell you is we've got to work. I won by 12 votes on the day of election by going out and picking up 12 absentee ballots. You can do it. And believe me, whatever it takes, we can do it. So we will do it. Thank you, Ted.
Award to Ali Reeves, presented to the Turning Florida Blue, presented to Commissioner, pardon me, this is Joe Casello's award, but Ali's going to get one on September 28th. Hang on to this, Ali, I'll get you yours in a minute. Joe won by 3 votes. Joe?
Thank you. I'm honored and humbled that you won by a landslide. Using the football analogy, I won by a field goal. And it was my first political run here in Florida. And it's just a few people I have to thank. First, I'd like to thank Deidre Newton over here. You might or might not know, we had a special election. The regular election came into a tie, and we had to have a special election runoff. And I also like the register of supervisor of elections over there, Susan. I've got to thank you because your calmness. Just a quick little story. We're going to have the recount, and when you're unofficially won by 3 votes, recounts mean everything. And it could be almost like they hang in Chad. But it was Susan's calmness as the recount was taking place that we lost, well not lost, 10 ballots was misplaced. And it was during that 2.5 hours that we had to relocate those ballots that Deidre came over and practically held my hand and kept me calm. And I'd just like to thank you. And my last shout out, I'd like to thank my men and women of the Boynton Fire Department and one of the greatest guys, and many of you know him as Fred Angelo. I'm going to tell you, when this guy says, "I got your back," and you look back during the hard times, he's back there standing behind you. So, thank you all, very humble.
Award reads, Turning Florida Blue to Commissioner Joe Casello, September 12, 2013. Thank you. And now the moment we've all been waiting for.
Okay, we did forget a couple of people. Fred Pinto, where's Fred? Fred Pinto, Councilman Royal Palm Beach. Thank you, I'm so sorry, missed you. Pat Emmerich, we got Pat Emmerich. Oh, I know, where's the Jupiter Tuesta Association Realtors? We have our Realtor of the Year back there, Pat Fitzgerald, welcome. Thank you very much, yeah, great to see you guys. And then I know, let's see, oh, we have several clergy members here that are with us tonight. Dr. Leah Brown's here, we have several, the Rabbi, Reverend, let's give them a hand and to say amen. So let's see, who else? Somebody's waving at me. Who else did we forget? Okay.
That was that word.
I can't think of anybody. Let's see. How about that?
We wanted to thank all of our table sponsors again on page 3, and especially our new table sponsors, CDM Smith, Florida Power and Light, Morganti Group, and a number of other new sponsors if you look on the page. We appreciate your sponsorship very much. Now, if you also look on there is a page, 2 pages in, that says to our Truman Kennedy Johnson Committee and Event Volunteers. Everybody knows that an event of this nature does not take place in a vacuum and does not happen by itself. There are a number of people here tonight who worked very, very, very hard to raise the money to put this event on, and we'd like to thank them enormously for their efforts. Tax Collector Ann Gannon, Commissioner Shelley Vanna, Priscilla Taylor, Commissioner Priscilla Taylor, Janae Actor, Mike Coleman, George Conroy, Bob Differdurfer, Nicole Galante, Lisa Lickstein, Andy O'Brien, DeAndre Poole, Harry Rauscher, J.P. Sasser, Bunny Steinen, and Bob Weinroth and Greg Rice. Thank you very, very much for helping put this event together. Our volunteers tonight, we can't do this without you. Would all the volunteers stand up? Everybody who participated as a volunteer tonight, please stand up. Thank you. And especially to our event staff, Coordinator Nicole Galante and Lynn Colburn. Thank you so much.